Welcome to Fret Reps. This channel is for beginners or intermediate players and is dedicated to showing you all the patterns on the guitar neck. It's the visual way of learning the guitar. Playing guitar is as simple as learning just a few patterns that repeat all over the neck. We won't bog you down with a lot of theory language to digest in one video. We focus on the exercise routine in a follow-along video that is similar to your aerobic or CrossFit classes. We will drop a little theory here and there because it's important to know what you are doing. We need to start with understanding the 3 hand patterns that are used all over the neck. We refer to these hand patterns a lot in this channel, so you might as well learn them now. Let's get started. The diatonic scale modes and triads associated with the guitar incorporates only 3 simple hand configurations. You can consider these configurations as 3 patterns that repeat throughout the neck. To simplify this, we will call these hand pattern 1, 2, and 3. Each pattern only uses 3 fingers. Hand pattern 1 is the first, ring and pinky fingers. The pinky and ring fingers are close together. Hand pattern 2 is the first, middle, and pinky. In this case, the first and middle fingers are close together. And hand pattern 3 is any 3 fingers spread apart. Practice these 3 patterns and call out the numbers, so at any point that I say hand pattern 1 or pattern 2, you can instantly know to which I'm referring. Here's a quick explanation on what these hand patterns actually mean when it comes to the guitar neck and the notes. Each finger represents 1 fret space. Any space between fingers means that's 1 fret you don't play. So if you are playing 3 notes in a row, going up the string, you would skip the fret that has the space between the fingers. Pattern 1 has the middle finger tucked away from the rest, so the tucked away finger represents a fret that's not played. Okay, it's time to talk a little about theory. Before I continue about theory, I just want to say that the only thing I didn't like about theory was how they have different names for the same thing. Once I learned what something was called, they would soon call it something else, which threw me off track. For example, say there were only 10 things to learn and they were called 10 names. That would be easy to memorize. But if there were 4 ways to call each thing and throughout a lesson the teacher kept switching what he called something, that makes it more confusing than it has to be. I'm going to try to stick with one way. I want to give the information in small bite-sized portions for easy digestion. I don't want to go too deep. I'm not trying to teach you all of the theory in one video. If you see this in the corner, there's more than one way to say it. Keep in mind though, this channel isn't a theory channel. It's about patterns and repetitive exercise. So we'll only skim the theory of music, just the basics you need to know. Let's start with the definition of major and minor. Simply put, major means big and minor means small. When the term major or minor is used, it refers to the note's distance from the root. Is it big or little, long or short, large or small? In music, instead of calling the notes in the scale by the letter name, they just number them in order. The first number in a chord, number 1, is always the root. From the root, all the notes after the 1 have a small or large distance away from the root. For instance, the next number is 2. There's a minor 2 and a major 2, then a minor 3 and a major 3, but they don't call them 1, 2, 3, 4. They refer to them as the first, second, third, fourth, etc. In basic terms, a major or minor usually refers to the chord or triad and whether it's a minor third or major third. Right now, we're only talking about the distance of the 3rd note in the scale from the root. Another way to look at the minor or major third in terms of distance is that minor third is always 4 frets in length and major is 5 frets in length. Now, to relate this to the hand patterns. Pattern 1 is always a minor, pattern 2 is always a minor, and pattern 3 is always a major. Triads will have a different rule on how the hand patterns relate to the minor or major third. This will be explained in more detail later. Remember, each hand pattern has 3 notes in it. If you played each pattern in sequence twice and add one more pattern 3, the sequence would look like this. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 3. Each pattern's first note would be the notes A, B, C, D, E, F, G. To add the theory to this, the sequence is also minor, minor, major, minor, minor, major, major. For those sticklers out there, the number 2 note is actually a diminish, but it does have a minor third in the triad, so we'll just call it a minor third. Let's keep the theory bite-sized for now. To sum this lesson up, when only referring to the first note in the 3-note pattern, playing that pattern set twice, and adding one more pattern 3 would look like this. 1 A minor, 2 B minor, 3 C major, 1 D minor, 2 E minor, 3 F major, 3 G major. Remember, we're only saying minor or major to describe how far the third is from the root, not the chord name. As you play each pattern set, call out the numbers, notes, or if it's major or minor. Take turns calling out the 3 different names for each pattern set. Now the question is, what are you going to do with this? I hope this gets you inspired to pick up your guitar to try out these hand patterns. If I were you, I would start with our video, Learn the Scales the Easy Way. It's a 6-video series that gives you follow-along practice routines, one string at a time. I show you how I use these neck labels to help you learn all the notes in the C major diatonic scale, using these hand patterns. This is where I only use all the white keys on the piano, which are represented on the guitar neck. That's all the natural notes, no flats or sharps. This system makes it easier to learn the scales because you don't have to memorize the scales before you get to start practicing them. You learn faster this way because we learn through repetition, and this channel gives you repetitive routines to follow along with. Just go through the motions with us and learning will happen automatically through fretboard repetitions. There's more to come, so welcome to Fret Reps. It's like CrossFit for guitar.